Let's introduce some more identities to you. These are based off the idea of complements. A complement are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So imagine I have a triangle. I have one angle is labeled as theta. What would you expect the other angle in that right triangle to be? Not the 90 degree one, not the other angle. Well, that would be 90 degrees minus that theta. So out of that, we have 6 co-function identities that we could develop that basically all state a similar pattern. So for example, sine of theta, well, that's the same thing as the cosine of 90 degrees minus theta. Or the sine of theta equals the complement of cosine of theta. Likewise, we work all of our way down for all those co-functional identities. And that's based off this idea of complements. So for example, let's say that we're given the sine of 52. Or sorry, the sine of 72 degrees, I think is what I'm looking at. Sine of 72 degrees. I want to find a cofunction, any cofunction, but a cofunction with the same value as that given expression. Well, the cofunction of sine is a cosine. So this would equal the cosine of 90 degrees minus theta, which is 72 in this case, and that equals 18. Is that right? So the cofunction of sine of 72 is the cosine of 18 degrees. Let's look at one last example. So I have the cosecant of pi thirds. We can also deal with this in radian world as well. And if that's the case, do you remember what 90 degrees are in radian world? 90 degrees was pi over 2. So the cofunction, so let me just write that down then. So the cofunction of cosecant of theta equals, in this case, not 90 degrees, but pi over 2 minus theta. Sorry, I should put secant in there. I missed it. I'm so excited about the 90 degrees become pi halves, I totally blew the actual important part of the equation. So how do we deal with that? Well, the cosecant of pi thirds equals the secant of pi halves, or the 90 degree ratio, pi halves minus theta, which is pi thirds. And then we'll need to reduce that down, get common denominators here. So secant, what is that? 3 pi over 6 minus 2 pi over 6, which equals 1 pi. So the secant of 1/6 pi. So the cosecant of pi thirds, its cofunction is the secant of 1/6 pi.